Emeritus of Lytic Studies at Bovine University and virtual host of the PBS show Hot Air, produced by member station OYYY in Pontification Junction, North Dakota. My personal pronouns are she, hers, with an affinity for they if it were not for the grammatical dissonance. Benjamin Franklin once famously said, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes." To which I would add, and the Chautauqua Review, which apparently not even a global pandemic could terminate. And evidently, the participation of the stage band. And mine as your mistress of ceremonies. And you, the audience, who are now complicit in the ensuing theatrical discombobulation. In these times, it is worthy of examining Mr. Franklin's quotation in its entirety. In a letter to Jean-Baptiste Leroy, a French scientist, in 1789, Mr. Franklin wrote, just after the establishment of the U.S. Constitution, "Our new Constitution is now established. Everything seems to promise that it will be durable. However, nothing in this world is permanent except death and taxes." Indeed. It has been a momentous 3 years since the last Chautauqua. While some have noted my propensity for loquaciousness, rest assured that I shall not attempt a comprehensive retrospective this evening. However, this is an opportune occasion to recall how the COVID-19 pandemic united the human community in a profound experience of bereavement. All of us have suffered a loss, perhaps the loss of a loved one, of your physical or mental health, a livelihood, the freedom of movement, or the illusion of omnipotence. My most significant personal loss, while not pandemic-induced, was nevertheless devastating. It concerns the death of my pussy. Her demise was not altogether unforeseen. For some time, my pussy had been showing evidence of her advancing age. Her response to stimulus more muted, her movements less fluid. In her youth, she was voracious and fierce. Gradually, her appetites waned and her desires abated. She ceased grooming herself. Her fur became matted, and it became more and more difficult to arouse my pussy from her slumber. In the end, it simply seemed kinder to let her sleep. She was my comfort and companion, a constant in my life, whether in the presence of others or in solitude. Curled on my lap as I read, softly stroking her soft fur. While it may sound cliche, the death of my pussy has left a huge hole that is impossible to fill. Well, I have ill-advisedly begun the show on a rather somber note. Albeit one in keeping with the mood of the general populace, but with any number of disasters we are currently facing, including but not limited to this country's precipitous drift toward theocracy and white nationalism, Russia's brazen war crimes and unconscionable blockage of Ukrainian grain, triggering widespread famine in Somalia and South Sudan, the recent flooding in Pakistan, the heat domes in various parts of the world, the breakdown of the water system in Jackson, Mississippi, all ramifying impacts of climate change, and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's recent haircut. If you came here tonight to be distracted, I am confident the Chautauqua's kaleidoscope of talent will not fail to disappoint, and you will leave here bemused and disoriented. We begin the show with the consummate storytelling of Dan Hoyle, who has mastered the art of immersion research, theater, and whose character portrayal is certain to lift you from the doldrums which I have inadvertently induced. Please give Dan a warm Chautauqua welcome.